Hey bees, I'm Marie from Humblebee and Me, and today we are making an absolutely lovely Luminous summer body oil. So this stuff smells great, gives you a wonderful sort of very slight tan, hint of shimmer, super easy to make, and as far as body oils go, I've done some pretty neat things to this one that I think make it extra awesome. So while you can definitely make a shimmering body oil by just combining mica with oil, I wanted to make something that was a little bit higher end than that, a little bit higher performing, something that solves some of the problems that I have with shimmering body oils. It means that I typically don't wear them after I make them. So problem number one is that I find they're very drooly. So that has sort of two ramifications. It means that when you add the mica, it'll settle really quickly to the bottom of your bottle, and so you're left shaking it every single time that you make it or that you want to use it. And then problem number two is that when you go to put that on, like you put it on your skin, it's just like bleh, and just kind of like runs everywhere. It's like, oh no, stop, I'm trying to, and it makes for a very sort of like stressful application process. So I wanted to fix that by thickening it. So to do that, I've included 8 grams of cetyl alcohol. So cetyl alcohol is an amazing thickener, but it's not just a thickener. It's not just like wax, which can add stickiness as well. Like it just thickens, and then sort of opposite to like it actually sort of makes things smoother. So you just get like something that feels just beautiful, thick oils, like your favorite oil, but thicker. It's really, really neat. I can't recommend cetyl alcohol enough. If you don't have some, like go get some. Add it to your pantry. It is super, super cheap, and it's so awesome. The next thing I wanted to improve on was feel, and so to do this, I added some silica microspheres. So silica microspheres, you've probably heard me rave about them before because I love them. They give your products the most amazing sort of silky, dry touch finish, which I associate with really high-end products. And then to add even more awesomeness, they help diffuse the appearance of light around your skin, so it actually helps make your skin look better. So oil feels less oily, lovely luxy dry touch, your skin looks better. Like this is all amazing stuff. If you don't have silica microspheres, you should get some because, but if you don't have them, cerussite mica will do kind of the same thing. Not quite, but kind of. So it's a decent alternative if that's what you've got. The oil base of this Luminous oil is a really nice blend of apricot kernel oil and meadowfoam seed oil, but you can completely feel free to play with that. I've actually written an entire article on carrier oil substitutions to help you understand why certain oils are chosen for recipes and then what makes a good substitution for them. So I'm going to throw a link to that in the description box below. So please check it out. And then I've also discussed sort of specific alternatives for this recipe in the accompanying blog for this recipe. So check that out too if you don't have those two oils. You're pretty much free to do anything that you want in the scent department for this. I have provided an essential oil blend that's wonderfully citrusy, but then because I made this twice, I made it once for the blog and once for YouTube, I threw a fragrance oil into the one that I filmed for YouTube, and that smells pretty darn good too. So really just put anything in there that makes you feel happy and summery and lovely, and something that's obviously not photosensitizing, like an orange essential oil or lemon essential oil, or especially bergamot essential oil if it's not bergapatene-free, because that can give you some really nasty burns. And since we're making this to go outside in summer, that sounds no good, right? And so I thought I'd kind of show you the like color change, if this comes across very well on camera. This arm has actually quite a lot of the shimmering body oil on it because this has been my victim arm every single time I tested it. But you can see that there's a slight color difference, or maybe you can't, but I can see that there's a slight color difference. You are certainly more than free to customize with more or less micas or use different colors. I used a blend of gold and bronze, but if you wanted to go like copper, or you're like, I'm feeling mermaidy and you want to add some pretty mermaid glitter, like knock yourself out. You can kind of do whatever works for you, whatever your skin looks awesome in. Like do whatever you want. Use more mica, use less mica. This amount of mica gives you roughly this amount of color change. On me, I work very hard to maintain my deathly pallor. So yes, they're quasi point of reference. Have fun. Test it on your skin as you're working. It's pretty hard to go wrong because, I mean, it's shimmer and it's wonderful and yeah. All right, let's get started. So let's start with the vast majority of our ingredients at least. So we've got 54 grams of apricot kernel oil, 19 grams of meadowfoam seed oil, 10 grams of Olivem 300. We have over here 8 grams of cetyl alcohol. Here we have 3 grams of silica microspheres And in here we have 5 grams of mica. And so this is a blend, as you can see, of gold and bronze. And so I have 1 teaspoon of the gold and 1.5 teaspoons of the bronze, which equals 5 grams in these micas. These are both from New Directions Aromatics, but I believe they've both been discontinued. So, you know, just choose whatever makes you feel summer shimmery and happy. So to kick things off, I'm going to blend a bit of our apricot kernel oil into our silica microspheres. Now make sure once you start stirring that you are wearing a dust mask for this, because these guys are super floaty and you don't want to inhale them. And then we're going to do the same with our micas. All right, so now that those have been pre-dispersed, they'll be a lot easier to incorporate down the line. Now we can get our heated phase. So we'll pop the remaining amount of apricot kernel oil in our beaker, our meadowfoam seed oil, the Olivem 300, and our cetyl alcohol. Now we're going to pop this in a water bath. So this is, as you can see, just a small saucepan that has about 1 inch or 3 centimeters of water in the bottom of it. And I'm going to take this and pop it on my stove over medium heat for about 20 to 30 minutes until the cetyl alcohol is melted, and this is just a nice transparent liquid. So about 20 minutes later, everything is a little melty. I can remove that there. Dry it off. You can add these pre-dispersed ingredients now. So this will help this cool faster too, which is nice. The first time I made this, I didn't do this and it took quite a while to cool down. So I thought, it also took quite a while to melt. So by pulling out some of the melt ingredients, it melts faster and it also cools down faster. So that's handy. Isn't that neat how the silica really thickens up that oil? It's such a cool ingredient. It's going to take a while for the viscosity to set in because we need to wait for that cetyl alcohol to start to sort of re-solidify and thicken the entire mixture. So this part is a little dull. So generally just kind of stir it, leave it for a few minutes, come back, stir it. It's shimmery and pretty though, so it's got that going for it. But yeah, this part's kind of dull, but it doesn't really require a whole lot of babysitting. Just kind of give it a stir when you remember to, and that's about that. It's been about 10 minutes, so I'm fully expecting there to be, a big blob of micas at the bottom of the beaker. It's a little bit more viscous, but not a whole lot. So it's been like half an hour now, and there we go. We're starting to get some thickening. Most of the blob that you're seeing there is just the mica that's starting to settle out. So I'm just going to give this a quick stir, and then at this point in time we can add our fragrance and our vitamin E and get this in the bottle, because if we wait too much longer it's going to be kind of hard to get in the bottle. But there you can see we're getting a nice kind of runny honey consistency, which I think is super cool, but I am a dork. So we're going to add our vitamin E now. Put that on there. That was about 10 drops. And then in the smell pretty department, this time I'm going to be using this black raspberry vanilla fragrance oil from Windy Point. I'm making this for a friend and she really loves the way that this fragrance oil smells, so we're doing that. But the first batch of this that I made, I did a nice blend of some citrusy essential oils, so not actual citrus, so you don't have to worry about photosensitization, but it's just sort of citrusy. So that is detailed in the blog post on this All right, give that a stir. So that was about 1/2 gram of fragrance oil. Fragrance oils I find are super, super strong, so you need typically much less of them than you do of essential oils. And now all we're going to do is pop this in our bottle. So I really recommend using a squeezy bottle. When you look at it now, you think, oh, maybe I don't need a squeezy bottle. Maybe I can use a stiffer bottle, but this thickens up quite a lot, and I'll show you with the batch that I made a couple hours ago so you can really get a feel for it. This is a 4-ounce or 120 milliliter bottle. And so now let's take a look at how this looks on the skin. So it goes on pretty strong, but once you actually shear it out, it's nothing ridiculous. And then I wanted to show you the version that I made a couple hours ago versus the one that we just capped, so you can see just how much it thickens over the course of a couple hours. So there you go. See, it's semi-solid, which I think is super neat. It means that mica stays in suspension, and it makes it a lot easier to sort of steer over your body parts. But there you can see, this is a very awkward camera angle, but there I hope you can see the difference between the arm that has the mica body oil on it and the one that doesn't. It's a pretty subtle difference, but I can definitely tell. But there you go. You just made some Luminous summer body oil. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe. Check the description box below for the full written recipe with all of the amounts in both metric and imperial, and the links to this recipe on my blog. My blog is where I provide the links to all of the ingredients and the equipment that I use. So if you are going to ask me, where do I get X ingredient? The answer is go check out the blog. Everything is there. All right, see you next time.